Hello, welcome everybody to our You Ask, We Answer business. We're going to be getting started here in just about 1 to 2 minutes. So we will be utilizing the Q&A function today. So feel free, if you have questions, put them in the Q&A chat. And like I said, we'll get started in about 1 to 2 minutes. So just hold tight. Perfect. Just gonna wait 1 more minute, then we'll get started on our You Ask, We Answer business. Thank you again for being here. Be just 1 moment, and then we'll get started on today's webinar. Alrighty, fantastic. So we can go and get started. As I said, we will be using our Q&A function today. So we will be answering some of those questions that you put down in registration. But if anything else pops up, feel free to type in that Q&A chat. A little introduction of myself. My name is Mary Gerhardstein. I use she, her pronouns, and I am an assistant director of admission here at PLU. Today, I am joined by 3 lovely panelists who will have introduced themselves. For our students, if you could please share your name, where you're from, your year in the program, and then also why you chose to attend PLU. And then for a faculty member, if you can also share your name, how long you've been at PLU, and why you chose to work at PLU. So maybe let's start with Marley.
Yeah, hi, my name is Marley Lawson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a business student here at PLU, a 3rd year studying finance. And I chose PLU because of some of the competition and internship opportunities within the business program, as well as the smaller class sizes that they have here.
Perfect. Marissa, would you like to go next?
Hello, everyone. My name is Marissa. I use she, her pronouns. I am a 1st-year student at PLU, and I am studying business, and I'm in an intended management and marketing major. The main reason that I chose PLU is I was really drawn to how many opportunities we have here through the study abroad programs, as well as just how unique our business program is, because it does have the same accreditation as Harvard. So I thought that was really valuable.
Perfect.
Hi, I'm Fang Lin. I teach finance here at PLU. This is actually only my 2nd semester. I'm in my 1st year here, and actually just had Marley in my 2 classes, so for 4 hours. So thank you for bearing with me for another 45 minutes, Marley. Why I picked PLU? Well, I like how small the school is. I was teaching at bigger schools elsewhere, and I really like the smallness because it allows me to teach more targeted topics. I can do a little more individualized touch on my students. So that's how I wanted to be here. So.
Fantastic. Alrighty. If you want to go into talking a little bit more about the business program in general, and if you want to share your screen and share a little bit of that presentation, now's a great time.
Sure. So here, well, hopefully you can see my PowerPoint.
Looks great.
Here. So I prepared a short presentation for what we do here at PLU School of Business. So I'll quickly go through the slides and feel free to ask any questions. As I said, I'm only in my 2nd semester, so I'm still learning a lot of new stuff. But I think I share a lot of commonalities with many of you because I was in your spot trying to learn what is PLU School of Business. I think I have figured out many of my own questions answers. So here it is. So I wanted to walk you through these 4 different aspects of the School of Business at PLU, and I'll begin with the direct admission. this may or may not be something that you're familiar with. So essentially, at most colleges, there are two layers of admissions. So you are first admitted into the university, and then starting your second year, you are applying to a particular school that you are interested in. For example, you may be admitted into UW on day one, and you start taking courses as a freshman, but then you won't be able to apply to enroll in their school of business classes until your second year. We don't have that. We only have a single layer of admission. We call that direct admission. So the day you were admitted into PLU is the day you were admitted into the School of Business. Advantage of that is if you do it correctly, you should be able to take intro to business class on day one. And the advantage of doing that is you can figure out if this is something you like to continue doing, or if there's something that's not for you, which is still good because you figure that out early in your first year, first semester, instead of wait till the second year, take the courses and found that's not for you. So that's direct admission. We are one of the few schools that can afford to do that. Major larger colleges, they're not allowing to have the direct admission. And then, like I mentioned, I really like how small our programs are. So that really allows me to give more individualized attention to my students. All the courses are actually taught by professors, not TAs. TA stands for teaching assistants. So this means you're taught by some PhD students, you're taught by some non-tenure track professors. Here, most of the courses are taught by tenured or tenure track professors. We also have professors coming out of the industry background, so you may be able to get knowledge from both academic and application side of the business. The class sizes on average is 22 students per class, and I can attest to this. The 3 classes that I have this semester are having a class size of 22, 24, and 25. So they're relatively large because, finance courses are typically fuller than other majors. All courses are taught here in the building. We call this building the Morgan building. This may not sound like a big deal, but when I was interviewed here, I was really amazed by the working spaces available to our students. So you have a lot of meeting place. You have a lot of study rooms where you can do group projects. So literally you could be walking out of your class and heading into your study room to do the projects together. There is a cafe on the first floor where you can get caffeinated before you head into my class, for example. So that's all the advantage of being a small place where everything is in one unit and you can pretty much find everything you need. It's a pretty nice building as well. On the picture here, I just wanted to quickly mention the people here. So the guy in the middle, his name is Brian. He's a senior finance and he's holding a medal. This is something that he just earned last year from the DECA competition, which is a competition for your business knowledges. And he just won the national. So he was one of the top 10 competitors nationwide. So that's kind of a big deal for us and good for him as well. But he definitely gets a lot of help from the professors here. So one of them is on the right, Professor Ralph Flick, so has been putting a lot of efforts in here. So so the School of Business here, even though we're small, we have the best accreditation worldwide. It's called AACSB. Only 5% of School of Businesses worldwide can get this accreditation. So when I was looking for jobs, I was looking for a place where AACSB is tagged to that school. It speaks to the quality of the School of Business education you can get. So I have listed Harvard and Stanford, but really we're in the elite group of a small number of colleges that that has the AACSB accreditation. So we really treasure this, and we feel that that's a big deal as well. Last but not least, I wanted to talk a little bit about our concentrations. So we have 4 concentrations to offer. So accounting, finance, management, and marketing. We could also offer you some individualized concentrations. So if none of the 4 that interest you, we might be able to come up with a more individualized study plan for you. For example, we have global studies, global business studies that are available. So if you wanted to do something along the lines of international business, we can do that for you. There's a lot of extra curriculum activities available. So study away is one big part of PLU. So a lot of students can gain some international experience by going through the study away program, which is a program that you would be taking courses from another college in a different country. So not only you are exposed to their college culture, you are exposed to their different professors, different ways of study, and also you're exposed to their local business atmosphere. So you can kind of see how people do businesses in different part of the world. There's also student organizations like DECA. We mentioned about Brian's success through the academic competitions. Particularly in the finance area, we have this student investment fund. So this is a pool of money that is managed by our own students, and they make their own investment decisions. They pick their stocks. They decided on when to buy, what to buy, when to sell, what to sell. And none of us, the faculty members, can interfere that process. So it's really a process where it focuses on learn by doing. And I'm glad to report that over the years, we have been able to really increase the size of the investment fund. So the students never really messed up the money. So that's the other thing. But really, they learn a lot from the process. We actually have quite a few alums who is now in New York City working in the industry, investment banking industry, that really attributed to their success to their participation in the investment fund. So thought that's a really unique opportunity. And once again, I worked elsewhere, so not all places have the student investment fund. So I thought that's one of the big highlights I wanted to make you aware. You don't have to be a finance concentration to be involved in the fund. And essentially all student organizations are open to anybody who wanted to participate. So that is kind of a quick walkthrough. I don't know how fit this is in terms of how you wanted to learn from PLU, but I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have towards the end of this.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit more about business. I know one of the questions that I get the most working in the Office of Admission is questions about, right, you talked a little bit about alumni. Where are some of the places that our alums have gone on to work? And then also, how do you collaborate with alumni in the classroom and build those connections?
So I can begin answering this, and maybe the students have different aspects here. So I'm only in my second semester. I'm already very amazed by how closely connected we are with our alums. So I was introduced on day one to a few alums who graduate from here. They're in different areas of the country. They're doing different parts of jobs in finance. So there are people in New York working in investment banking. I was just connected with another alum who graduated in 2019. He's now in Bellevue, and he's wanting to offer our students with opportunities in terms of internships and job opportunities. So really, I don't know how we get this close, but I'm just really amazed on how our alums are willing to connect with us and how we can benefit from having the alums. I know people who wanted to go, for example, industry banking, they can automatically connect with the people I have just mentioned about. So it's just a small, neat environment where everybody kind of knows everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. On that, my first year here at PLU, I competed in a business plan competition, which was exactly like Shark Tank. It was really cool. But I got to meet a lot of the alumni because they were the judges for the competition. So they had an alumni from each concentration come in, and we got to have discussions with them about our ideas, and it was really cool. And I still keep in touch with those people now. So yeah.
That's awesome. Marissa, do you have anything to add?
I have like a similar experience. So being a first year, I'm kind of in the same position. I still like getting used to the feel of campus and everything, but I definitely get the vibe though about like this level of close, like tight-knit community that Pacific Lutheran University is a part of, which is part of the reason why I was so drawn here. But when I was in Business 201 class, a similar probably experience as Marley, we were tasked with developing a small business basically in like a semester. So it's just very low key, just letting like having an opportunity to explore what it's like to start a business on a smaller scale. And when towards the end, we got feedback on our project from anyone who wanted to give us feedback, whether that be advisors or alumni, which is really wonderful to hear their insights since they have more experience. And they were so open and willing to share their constructive criticism. So letting us know what we were doing well and what we could do to improve, especially for those interested in starting their own business. It was very valuable.
That's really great to hear. Yeah, I know a lot of times we talk about like this community of care at PLU, and I feel like it really does show a lot, not only when you're in those classes, but also the fact that our alumni want to stick around and continue to help students and really go in that pathway that they were directed into. So it's definitely great to hear that you all have had great experiences. Um, Going on to our next question, I would love to hear for our students, maybe what is one of your favorite business courses that you've taken so far? If you have one, I know it's kind of hard. And then Frank, maybe what's a favorite class that you've taught so far? I know it's just been a year, but love to hear kind of your thoughts on that. So Marley, would you like to start off maybe a favorite class that you've taken so far?
Sure. I think my top two would be business law with Professor Flick. It's a really interactive course. It's not just reading about the laws, you actually get to do like group activities. And then behavior and organizations is a really interesting one. You get to learn how to interact with people, how to negotiate different styles of learning and styles of leadership. And I definitely have some very memorable activities we've done in that class that I'll remember for a long time.
That's awesome. Marissa, do you have a favorite course so far?
Yeah, like as far as the business department goes, I've only taken 4 so far, so I don't have as many to pick from, but still like even though I just have 4, it's still really hard to choose because they each like bring elements that are just so valuable. But I think the one that I enjoyed the most, like I said before, Business 201, being someone who's interested in entrepreneurship and considering the small class sizes at PLU, having those like group projects, which that's something about the business program. It's very group project oriented. So usually in all of your classes, you'll have at least one big group project throughout the year. So it's a wonderful opportunity to help improve your teamwork and communication skills. But I just loved how the class was structured. And not only were we like reading these chapters and we're like, oh, this is how you price a product, we actually got to apply that, which in my opinion, like when you learn to like apply, it helps you remember it better and you're able to like contextualize it in a wonderful, fun, interactive way.
That's really great to hear. And do you have a favorite class that you've taught so far?
Right. So I am teaching investments right now. So that's kind of my favorite. I gave everybody $500,000 monopoly money to play around. So everybody's a portfolio manager. So we compete throughout the semester. I feel like that hands-on experience can complement to what I teach theoretically. So people not only know, hey, theoretically you're making or losing money, but also you can put the money to work without really losing your own money. And I'm part of the competition. So currently I'm proud to report that I'm ranking in the bottom of the class. So everybody else in my class is doing better than I am. So glad that they're doing that. So yeah.
That's really awesome and fun that you're joining in, right?
Yeah.
I'm also a very competitive person, so that sounds like a great time, and the fact that you're clearly teaching so well that they're doing a great job. So that's really lovely to hear. Um, Maybe we could talk a little bit about for our students, how do you manage your time? Um, and like, what does maybe a week look like for you? I know you're both in different spots in the program, but like, how many classes are you taking? How do you manage homework? That sort of thing. Marley, would you like to start?
Sure. Yeah. I am definitely in like the busiest part of my time here at PLU right now. I'm also an RA on campus. I have an internship. I apply for scholarships. I'm definitely busy. Um, a big thing that you can do though is spacing out your concentration classes. So I'm taking 3 of mine right now. I'd recommend spacing them out more than that. I'm taking 4 classes right now. I'm also an innovation studies and pre-law minor, which go great with business, by the way. They only take 1 or 2 additional classes to get, and it's really interesting to see how like your business skills interact with those skills as well. But yeah, I go to my internship in the morning, and then I have my classes at night, and I feel like the professors and the on-campus jobs are really flexible. So that makes things a lot easier. And then at nights, I typically do about like 2 hours of homework and then eat dinner, and that's my typical day.
Great. Marissa, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm just starting. So Marley's more of an upper class and I'm more like I'm a first year student,
Mhm.
so my schedule is not quite as busy, but currently I'm taking 17 credits, but my fitness class won't start until April. So some classes you'll have at PLU will basically start like only have like 1 quarter, which is more like your fitness classes are the ones that are going to do that. So I'm taking with those 4 classes, I'm also working in the commons, so our lunch like cafeteria. And the thing I've taken away is like time can go by really fast when you're in college, especially if since I was at home, you're more motivated to do your assignments because you don't have friends at your disposal every day in order to like knocking on your door being like, hey, you want to get dinner and stuff like that. So that's something I found that was a little challenging but very exciting at the same time. So the best suggestion I have is utilize your Google Calendar or whatever, like some calendar, track your assignments in some way because I've noticed that when you, especially as you get higher and higher in your class levels and you're taking those upper division classes, sometimes those assignments can slip your mind on an accident. So use at the beginning of the year, just take all of your syllabus and put all of your assignments in your Google Calendar, and you can always like edit them if your professors change the deadlines, which happens sometimes. But I found like and color code them maybe a different color for each class, and it just really helps you be able to stay on track and plan ahead, which I feel like is the thing that can help best ensure that you're successful in trying everything on time.
Yeah, that's definitely great advice. I also live by my Google Calendar. So, yeah, sometimes it's nice to have a system in place just to make sure everything's going well. Yeah, but I think also it's really great that our professors are really accessible for students. So, if you ever need to talk to somebody or like you need an extension, right, they're always willing to help you with those things. So, definitely a really great thing as well. Let me find my next question. Um, this might be more for Hank, but what are some potential pathways that business at PLU can take you? So not only like concentrations, but maybe what are some of those opportunities with a business degree that you can get from PLU?
Right. So I think first and foremost, I noticed a lot of my students when I get them, they're in their juniors and seniors. A lot of them are having their internships. So one of the things is you are gonna get a ton of chances where you either through your alums or through your families, you can get some application aspects of what you learned. I thought that's really important. The earlier that you do this, the better because it helps you to figure out whether you like this particular path or not. So I kept telling my finance students there are so many different things you can do with finance. So I might just go through that. So you can do a financial planner. That is, you help people prepare for their retirement or whatever their life goals may bring them to. You could be an investment banker. where you work for Goldman Sachs, you work for JP Morgan, you do a bunch of fancy stuff, mergers and acquisitions, stuff like that. You're going to be super busy, but you will make a ton of money. You're going to be likely in the New York City area or some other places. Or if you want to stay local, you can work for Russell or Parametric, which is asset allocation. So you work for a company who helps others to decide how I want to invest my money. So you make a lot of investment decisions. You could be a risk manager for a bank, essentially telling the bank not to take on so much loan or take on what type of loans. So there are a lot of places where you can apply your finance knowledge. So I'm pretty sure this applies to many other majors as well. What I really think the education you get here is really some skill sets that can be applied elsewhere. So you get to know how to interpret data. You get to know how to critically think about stuff. You know how to solve for problems. And those skills are transferable no matter where you go. So I thought that's really important. And professors here are trying to do a good job with teaching you those skill sets.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's really, really wonderful. For our students, right, could you maybe describe a little bit about like the culture of the business program? What do classes look like in terms of when you're actually in those spaces? How are you able to collaborate with others, that sort of thing? Yeah, Marla, want to go first?
Yeah, I think something that's really cool about PLU now that I'm in my concentration classes is I have class with mostly the same people once you're in your concentration. So I like really know those people well. I've worked with almost all of them in an academic setting, and I've hung out with most of them outside of class. So you really get to know these people very well, and you get to learn from them and you really get to interact with them a lot. Study groups are a big thing. Getting to hang out outside of class and work on projects together. It's a very supportive environment. You get to meet people from outside of your concentration. And yeah, I feel like anytime I've reached out to somebody asking for help, they've been able to help me there. And so it's just a very supportive environment.
Perfect. Marissa, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm not in any of my concentration classes yet because again, first year student, but I definitely echoing a lot of what Marley said. It is a very supportive environment, both on the side of like the students that you meet and the faculty, because especially like as you're like beginning and you're trying to figure out, hey, what do I want to do? There's really no pressure to declare concentration right away. It's just exploring. And I feel like the fellow classmates and professors are really supportive of that. And students are so willing to connect with you if you want to talk outside of class about their experiences, because what's wonderful about PLU is you get people from different walks of life. I know in some of my introduction classes, I've had fellow classmates that have businesses already. So you can always, like, most of the time, they're really open to talking to you about those experiences. And because of the small class sizes at PLU, teachers are really open to feedback on the courses. Like, for example, like if a project you don't think was effective, they're definitely interested in hearing your feedback on that. So it's very hands-on and engaging.
That's great. It looks like in the Q&A, we do have a question. What exactly are concentration classes? I know we've mentioned them a couple times. So does anybody want to take a shot at what are concentration classes? Maybe how do they differ from those general introductory courses?
Sorry, I was gonna say I can take that. I can quickly share my screen. I was actually working on this.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so you can almost think of the concentration classes as the classes for your specific concentration. So we talked about accounting, finance, marketing, management as four different concentrations. So before you're able to take a lot of them, you have to take many of this what we call the core classes. So these are the classes that's shared by all concentrations. So it doesn't matter what you choose to focus on, you have to take these core classes. And these are usually happening earlier in your college life. And then once you finish most of these you will be able to dive into your concentration courses. For example, if you do finance, here are your concentration classes. So these classes are going to be different from the concentration classes in, say, accounting or management. So, but I hope that makes sense. Feel free to Marty and Marissa. Feel free to share what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I feel like it's mainly just the upper division classes. I really enjoy how PLU makes you take a class from each concentration. When I came into PLU, I didn't know what concentration I wanted to be in, and they make you take a class from each before you decide. So once I took my first finance class, I was like, oh, this is what I want to do. And then you get to start like only concentrating on that, which is really cool. And that's again when you have those classes with typically the same people in your year because most people take them at around the same time. But yeah, they're mainly just the upper division of what you select, which concentration you select.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's great. I was someone who I was undecided when I went to college, so I really appreciate that emphasis on trying a lot of different things. You really do notice when you take a class like, oh, I absolutely love this, or maybe this isn't for me, right? So it is really great that you have lots of checkpoints, even within a program, to see, okay, this is what I enjoy doing. I want to continue this, or maybe this is not exactly what I want to do, because that also informs your decision of what's next. So definitely appreciate that a lot. Let me, if we have any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. I will also continue as well. Perfect. For our students, do you have any favorite study spaces at PLU or favorite spaces to do coursework?
Morgan is definitely my favorite building. I feel like I live there. But just because there are so many good places, whether it's like the cafe or the study rooms. The library is also great. It's separated on like how quiet you need it to be, which is cool. So I'll base off if I'm studying a group, I'll go on the social floor. If I need some time to really concentrate, I like going to the third floor of the library.
Yeah, and depending on whether you're a student who's commuting or you live on campus, there are definitely like some wonderful resources within each campus community hall in order for you to help study. Because I live in Tinglesad right now, which is a variety of communities. It has 8 floors, and every floor has or every 4 floors has a study room that you have access to 24/7. So it's definitely a wonderful resource if you want something closer to your room, but just enough because I know for me, if I like sit on my bed, I'm gonna accidentally doze off because I'm like, that's where I sleep. So it's having a place that's close to where you live, but still like giving you a designated space to get into study mode.
Yeah, that's great. Hank, do you have any spots other than your office that you like to spend some time in?
I definitely like the library. There is actually they have some do you call it like an art or display in the library that I really enjoyed circling around. So if you're tired about reading something, just go look at some arts and it will get a fresh mind there. My office is also awesome, so,
Yeah.
so I do hang out in my office quite a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. We do have multiple galleries on campus, so yeah, if you need something new to see, that's always updated. So definitely a fun thing to do for sure. To answer the question in the Q&A, do you still take main classes like math and English? Yes, we do have a general education requirements here at PLU. So if you are coming in with some college credits, you are able to refrain from taking some of those courses again. But most students are taking some general education requirements, especially in their first 2 years, as a way of filling in some of those other courses. But you're also welcome to take them all throughout your time at PLU. Sometimes it's a nice break from a concentration, especially when you do get to those upper division classes to say, oh, maybe I'm going to take a PE course or an art course, right? It can be a nice break. But yes, those are courses that you take as well. So definitely an option. Fantastic. And again, feel free to continue to ask questions in the chat. Yeah, fantastic. I know we mentioned a little bit about studying away, right? That's a really great opportunity for students, especially if looking at international business. Have any of you had any opportunities to learn a little bit more about study away, or something maybe, Marissa, that you want to do in the future? And kind of what do you think are the benefits of that?
Yeah, for sure. So, being a first year student, I haven't had the opportunity to study away yet, but definitely in the future I want to. And what's wonderful about PLU, we have a curriculum called IHON, and it's abbreviated for International Honors. So basically, the program is an alternate pathway to your general education requirements. So instead of taking your standard religion classes, you'll be taking a variety of classes throughout your time at PLU, reading books. And it's a wonderful opportunity to explore ancient texts and other novels in order to expand your idea of culture and what it means to you and the community, which I find very valuable. And it directly connects to the study away because you get priority as well as when you're like filling out your applications to study away. And a definitely interesting program at PLU that definitely stands out to me is our IHON Oxford program. So you get the opportunity for one full semester to study away at Oxford, which I know not all schools offer. So that's a wonderful opportunity to expand your professional network. And I just think the value of that is being able to, again, expand your network. You're going to be in a completely different country. And I know employers definitely value that when they're like, oh, this student is definitely able to manage their time. They're able to get more experiences than the average student will get. And also having those international communication skills, being able to not only excel in your studies, but doing so in a different environment is definitely very valuable for future outlook.
Yeah, and I am somebody who I picked PLU because another reason I picked PLU was because I live in Olympia and I wanted to stay close, and I never thought I'd be somebody who wanted to study away. And right now I'm filling out my application to study away. So that's something cool that I was like, I never thought that I'd be one of the people who wanted to study away. And I'm like really excited to possibly get the opportunity in the future. Just because they make it so easy, and it's really enticing, the type of classes that they can teach away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. About half of our students do end up studying away at some point, so it's a lot more than you'd think. And part of the reason why that is really accessible is we do have 8 what are called our gateway programs that they don't cost anything additional. So we do give like flight vouchers and everything. And it's a really great opportunity for you to spend a semester or even just spend January somewhere else, especially somewhere warm. It's always lovely. But our 8 programs are 3 places in Norway, China, Mexico, England, Trinidad, Tobago, and Namibia. But we also do have other opportunities as well. So they're constantly changing. Great way for you to, right, learn from another community. And like Hank said, like you're also getting to learn from local businesses in those areas. And just experience something completely different than what we have here. So definitely a unique opportunity that, especially for those who are thinking of international business, fantastic thing for you to do. But also you can do it in a lot of other programs as well. So if you have secondary interests, like that's a great opportunity too. Fantastic. Is there anything else that you all would like to add? I know we're running a little bit low on questions and only have about 6 minutes left, but anything that you'd want to share specifically about the business program that you feel like you wouldn't finish this without sharing this one bit of information? It's okay if not.
I can go first, and I wanted to add on to the global and international aspect of this. I wanted to say, because we're small, we're able to actually cater to your specific needs as in terms of picking your concentrations. So um, you don't have to be an accounting, finance, marketing, or management. You can pick a individualized concentration. We actually have international business as an potential option, or globalness. So I wanted to see if I have that in my here. So let me share my screen here. You all see this?
Yep.
So this one says it's individualized concentration. This one is with the focusing global business. So you can actually take a finance course, a management course, and a marketing course, and plus, one of these other choices and call that a concentration in global business. Our advising staff do a amazing job to kind of walk you through what are the courses you need in the next few years. So if you take everything as they have advised you, that you're gonna be doing great. So I thought that's just something really unique about us.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, something that I would share would be the access to internships. I currently have been working for about 8 months for a PLU alum that I got an internship through, just from a posting that PLU did, and I'm gonna be hired there full time after I graduate. I also got an internship for Amazon this summer through PLU and through the professors promoting those. So it really is a supportive, like they want to help you find a job after this and they want to help get you those experiences to look good to jobs once you graduate.
Yeah, and the main thing that I have is like as a first year student coming in, it can be kind of overwhelming when you're looking at this, like what are concentration courses in the upper division, like because we have a variety of classes in the business program. So you have 200 level and 300 level. And when you're just starting out, you're like, oh, 300 levels, those are so scary. The concentration classes are so scary. And I think the best advice I have for that is to not be afraid of them, because they're basically just a numbering system to let you know that this comes before or after another thing. Doesn't necessarily reflect how difficult the class is going to be. It might require a bit more workload outside, but other than that, it's all the professors are very supportive. And I think all of your skills that you developed so far in your undergrad and high school career will definitely help you. And I think you'll have more skills than you think you do. So don't underestimate yourself.
Yeah, that's really great. No, I feel like the wonderful thing about a liberal arts education is you get so many transferable skills. So even when you're taking, right, those English classes or those math classes, right, you use those day to day. And especially in business, right, you're not only talking with people who have the exact same skill set as you really get to learn from the other people on your team. And everybody really does have fantastic strengths. So yeah, definitely a great thing to learn from others, learn from different business leaders, learn from your professors, but also learn from the other students in your classes. You never know what you'll be able to learn at the end of it. Fantastic. Looks like we have another question in the Q&A. Will having a personalized degree like international business hinder my opportunities or credibility after college? I think it's asking if it's saying it's an individualized concentration rather than a specific name. Will that hinder the credibility?
I can try to answer that. I think the answer would be no. My base for that would be if you compare a finance concentration, for example, versus an individualized, you still share the same general education courses, same business core classes. You only differ by maybe 3, 4, upper level concentration courses. So largely speaking, you're still getting the same skill sets that's transferable as others. You're just having a little bit different focus. You're doing a little more on the international side of things. And plus, international business really is not a such a remote major. A lot of schools are having international business as a standalone major. So yeah, you're getting the same thing, pretty much similar stuff as your finance majors and
Yeah,
other
absolutely.
majors. Yeah.
And it's a business degree on your certificate, right? It's a business degree in general. So you're getting
Right.
that really great foundation. Fantastic. It looks like we just have 2 minutes left. So maybe to end this off, could we share maybe like what's one word that you'd use to describe PLU? We'll go broad. PLU. One word you'd use to describe us. Any of you are welcome first. I know it's kind of hard. So it's okay if it's a couple words. I won't
I
mind.
think I would say community if I had to pick one.
I think Marissa was feeling similar.
Yeah, I was gonna say community centered. Somewhere they stole my word, but I think that just shows we're thinking the same thing. So it's very true. Like even if you visit campus and you think, oh my gosh, all these people are like wanting to say hi to me, it's not just so you will commit to go to the school. It's actually a part of the environment.
Sure.
I think I'm around the same theme. I was gonna say care or caring. It's just a small place where everybody knows everybody and everybody cares about everybody. So I really love that.
That's really great. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you to our panelists. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your evening to share a little bit more about our business program. If students ever wanted to ask you questions, is there a great place that they can message you if that's okay with you all?
I was gonna say sure. How can I share? I can share my email if that's okay with everybody. It is simply Lin. So if you look at my last name Lin, it's Lin at plu.edu. So feel free to email me any questions you may have.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll just send my email into the chat. It's lawsonmr if at plu.edu if anybody wants to reach out to me. But anything.
Great. Thank you so much. You guys have much better emails than me. I have my full last name in mind, which is a little bit complicated. So appreciate it. Well, again, thank you all so much for joining us today. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, everybody.